Hey folks, I hope that you guys are doing pretty well. So today is Monday, the 19th of January 2026, and in today's video I'm going to decipher for you Psalm 91, okay? We're going to be going verse by verse all the way to verse 16, okay? And Psalm 91 is very straightforward, okay? Now I'm going to be declaring the end from the beginning, if you like, what this is all about. Now, Psalm 91 is about Israel hiding in that secret place um, that God is going to provide them supernaturally for them in the wilderness, and God is going to nourish them for 3.5 years. Okay, so basically, all these verses are related to that. How Israel, how the Jewish people are going to be surviving then, what they are going to be going through, and so on. And then at the end, of course, He shall call upon me, which of course leads to Psalm 118, if you like. Blessed is he that cometh in the name of the Lord. And you can read that, the same thing in the synoptic gospels of Matthew, Mark, and Luke. Okay. So all Psalm 91 is Israel's hiding in the secret place. When the abomination of desolation happens and will have to flee into the wilderness, according to Luke chapter 21, verses 20 to 24, let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains. Okay. And they're going to be heading to a secret place. So there will be a remnant that God will nourish supernaturally for 3.5 years. And this is pretty much what they will have to go through, if you like, spiritually speaking and physically as well. And then they're going to call upon the Lord to, basically say that He's the Messiah, if you like, and the King and so on, okay? So now that I show you the Bible and I made it easy for you, let's go verse by verse, okay? Now, so of course, Psalm 91, verses 1 to 16 is a psalm by Moses. Now, Moses, according to the Tanakh, he's the author of Psalms 90 to 100. Okay, so Psalm 91, if you like, is a psalm that befits the purposes of the second half of the tribulation period. And this is because, according to Revelation 12:14, but the woman, meaning Israel, was given two wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness to her place, you see, when the abomination of desolation happens, where she's nourished supernaturally for a time, 1 year, times 2 years, and half a time, half a year, in other words, 3.5 years, okay, from the presence of the serpent, okay. And why is this? Because in the second half of the tribulation period, there's going to be war in heaven. Satan is going to go up to heaven with his fallen angels, and he's going to fight Michael, the protector of Israel, with his angels, and they're going to lose that fight, and he's going to fall down. The devil's going to be thrown down back to earth, or cast down back to earth with his fallen angels, and then he knows that he has but a short time, and in his wrath he's going to try and eliminate the Jewish people, but it's not going to happen. Okay, so yes, Israel was given two wings of a great eagle that she is nourished for 3.5 years. Okay, so commentary. And so begins context for verse 1. He, Israel, who dwells in the secret place of the Most High, shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. Okay, commentary. When the abomination of desolation happens, according to Daniel 9:27 and Luke 21, verses 20 to 21, and on Luke 21:20 reads, but when you see Jerusalem surrounded by armies, then note that its desolation is near. Then let those who are in Judea flee to the mountains, let those who are in the midst of her depart, and let not those who are in the country enter her. Okay, because there's gonna be, a lot of problems for Israel, if you like. So, according to the prophecy in Revelation 12:14, there will have to be a secret place. Okay, because Revelation 12:14 is saying that there's going to be a special place where Israel is going to be hiding in the wilderness, because God is going to nourish Israel for 3.5 years. So there has to be some kind of secret place, and where God is going to protect the Jewish people supernaturally from the flood or the serpent. He's going to cause a flood. This prophecy is also linked to Psalm 2, verses 2 and 3. The kings of the earth, in other words, the revived Roman Empire, or the 10 kings, if you like, they're going to be against God and Israel. And then in verse 2 it reads, I will serve the Lord, He's my refuge and my fortress, my God, in Him I will trust. Okay, so basically, when the Jewish people are, in hiding in the secret place, they're going to put their faith on God. I will say to the Lord, He's my refuge and my fortress. Okay, because Israel will be in a refuge, if you like, in a fortress, hopefully in a good place, solid place that God is going to protect them. My God, in Him I will trust. Okay, so commentary. This prophecy is linked to Psalm 11 verse 1. In the Lord put I my trust. You see, in Him I will trust. Hasten you to my soul, flee as a bird to your mountain. Okay, so flee into the wilderness. Okay, so this prophecy then, let me turn over the page, links back to Revelation 12:14. The woman was given 2 wings of a great eagle, and also to Luke 21:21. Let those who are in Judea flee to the mountains. Okay, it's also linked to Psalm 13 verse 5. But I have trusted in thy mercy. My heart shall rejoice in thy salvation. Okay, it's also linked to Psalm 14 verse 7. O to the salvation of Israel, or to come out of Zion, when the Lord bringeth back the captivity of his people. Okay, in the millennial kingdom, Jacob shall rejoice, and Israel shall be glad. Okay, so there are some great prophecies of 5 in the Psalms of Isaiah too, regarding all of these. Since Psalm 73, verses 24 to 26, Psalm 73:24 reads, Thou shalt guide me with thy counsel, and afterward receive me to glory. See also Psalm 74 verse 12, for God is my King of old, okay, working salvation in the midst of the earth, etc., etc. So just note that Israel's prophet in the second half of the tribulation period will also restore the 5 of the Jewish people, as his mission is to unite the Jewish people unto Jesus Christ, the Messiah, okay? And see also Psalm 5:3. So this verse 2 is actually quite a complex one. I will say of the Lord, He's my refuge and my fortress, my God, in Him I will trust. So once the Jewish people are in the wilderness, in their refuge, in their fortress, okay, they're going to have to put their trust in God. And so then it begins to link with all these prophecies of 5, um, in which the Jewish people have to place their 5, in the Lord, so that eventually, when the 3.5 years are over, they will get the salvation. Jesus will come back for the millennial kingdom to save them. And so these prophecies of 5, okay, but of course, the Jewish people have to stay there for the whole length of the 3.5 years. But all these verses are actually linked to that verse 2, if you like, okay, and there's more than this as well. Verse 3, surely he shall deliver thee from the snare or the feala or the hanta, if you like, that's the Antichrist, and from the noisome pestilence. Notice that Jesus said, the synoptic gospels, that in the tribulation period, nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom, there's going to be pestilence and famines. Okay, commentary. Now, especially in the second half of the tribulation period, God is going to protect a remnant of the Jewish people, according to Zechariah chapter 13, verses 8 and 9, and Daniel 12, verses 1 and 2, from the Fela, Hanta, Antichrist, if you like, and he's revived, 10 kings of the Roman Empire, okay, from the pestilence that Jesus prophesied to his disciples in Matthew 24:7, okay. So this protection includes a secret place in the wilderness, like I mentioned earlier, where according to Revelation 12:14, Israel will be nourished for 3.5 years. So Israel will get the protection from the pestilence, if you like, because God is going to protect them with his feathers. Okay. Now this prophecy is also linked to Psalm 2:4. He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh. Okay. God is going to be watching how the devil is going to be doing all this, but he's going to laugh. The Lord shall have them in derision. In other words, he's going to mock them because he's going to be protecting the Jewish people. Okay, so God is going to mock them. So it's also linked to Psalm 3 verse 3. But thou, O Lord, are a shield for me. See, meaning that he's going to protect them. My glory and the lifter, up on my head. Okay, encouragement, if you like. See also Psalm 4:3. But now that the Lord has set apart him that is godly for himself, and the Lord will hear when I call unto him. Okay. It's also linked to Jeremiah 30 verse 7, but he shall be saved out of it. Okay. So, from that secret place, in the wilderness, there will be a remnant that will be saved out of it. Also, Jeremiah 30 verse 17, for I will restore health unto thee. And see also Isaiah 28:18, and your covenant with death shall be disannulled. Okay, so that means that the remnant will make it through in the wilderness. They will be protected there, and your agreement with hell shall not stand. Okay, so the Jewish people will survive because in Jeremiah 33 verses 20 to 21, it reads in 33:20 reads, if you can break my covenant of the day and my covenant of the night, and that there should not be day and night in the season. Then on verse 21, then my covenant be broken with David my servant, that he should not have a son to reign upon his throne, and with the Levites the priests my ministers. So basically, the devil is not going to have, he's not going to have the luck that he's after, or to destroy the Jewish people, because the prophecy tells us that God is going to restore the health, he's going to save them, and so on. So those in the land 1/3 will make it through, according to Zechariah chapter 13 verses 8 and 9. Okay, so verse 4, he, in other words God, shall cover thee with his feathers. That's interesting. And under his wings shall thou trust. Okay, so that's what God is going to be doing with the Jewish people when they hide in the wilderness. He's going to cover them under his wings, and the Jewish people have to trust God. They're going to have to put his trust in him. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. Okay, so spiritually, the Jewish people in that wilderness, in that place of hideout, if you like, all these prophecies are linked to them. Salvation, and then also that they're going to have strong faith in the Lord. Okay. So commentary. This prophecy is well linked to Revelation 12:14, and to the woman, of course, were given 2 wings of a great evil. In other words, the God is going to cover them with his feathers. Okay, that she might fly into the wilderness. Okay, so God will protect Israel with his feathers. Okay, this is the protection of God. God is always going to protect Israel, his covenant people, because this is also symbolized in God's 4 living creatures, in which Ezekiel saw when the heavens were open and he saw visions of God. Okay, now if you read Ezekiel chapter 1 verse 10, Each creature had four faces, okay? The face of God was at the front, okay, because he's God the Father. The face of a lion represents Jesus, okay, on his right, okay, because Jesus is on the right hand side of majesty, okay. And the face of an ox represents Israel, okay. Remember how King Solomon, when he rebuilt the first temple, he had 12 oxen, I believe, uh, that those oxen were to represent the 12 tribes of Israel. So the ox represents Israel, which is on the left, okay? And the fact that it's on the left, Jesus has the back, okay? And the face of a great eagle on the back, meaning that God the Father, who's at the front, has Israel's back, you know, and so just Jesus. Both God the Father and Jesus have Israel's back, okay? Meaning that God has Israel's back, you know, he's going to protect them, okay? Now, verse 5, thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day. See Isaiah 43, verse 5, commentary. The Jewish people that will be hiding in the wilderness and that are going to be supernaturally nourished by God, they will do well to remember Psalm 2 verse 4. He that sitteth in the heaven shall laugh, the Lord shall have them in derision. In other words, he's going to mock them, you know. So it says here, thou shalt not be afraid of the terror, okay? Because, you know, the 10 kings, together with the Antichrist, they're going to try and eliminate the Jewish people. But God is saying, he that sitteth in the heaven shall laugh, you know. God is going to mock them, you know. That's why. So it's also linked to Psalm 3 verse 3. But thou, O Lord, are a shield for me. Okay, that's hiding in the wilderness, in the supernatural place. Okay, my glory and the lifter up of my head. Okay, see also Psalm 5:11. But let all those that put their trust in thee rejoice. Okay, let them ever shout for joy because thou defendest them. Okay, he's defending the Jewish people in that supernatural place. Let them also that love thy name be joyful in thee. Okay, it can also be linked to Psalm 94:14. For the Lord will not cast off his people, neither will he forsake his inheritance. See also Psalm 94 verses 16 and 17 and Psalm 94:22. So yes, God has to protect the Jewish people supernaturally because he's not going to forsake his inheritance. Okay. Now verse 6. Nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. Commentary. Jesus did mention in Matthew 24:7, and there shall be famines and pestilences. Okay. See? And earthquakes in diverse places. But nonetheless, the Jewish people will make it through a remnant of, of promises, if you like. Say Zechariah chapter 13 verses 8 and 9. Okay. And one of the promises can be found in Matthew 24 verse 22. And except those eyes be shortened, there should be no flesh be saved. Okay. So when Israel hides in the supernatural place, God is going to shorten those eyes so that the Jewish people can survive. But for the elect, in other words, the Jewish people's sake, those eyes shall be shortened. See also Isaiah 43 verse 5. Fear not, for I'm with thee. Okay, now the elect will be the Jewish people because in the second half of the tribulation period, Satan is going to overcome the saints, and the saints will be no more. They are going to be beheaded and so on. And so the only people that will be left will be the Jewish people, the elect under covenant. Okay, so now then, verse 7. The ascent shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand. Yea, many people will perish as a result of the pestilence, but it shall not come uh, near thee. Okay, and that's because God is protecting them supernaturally. Okay, in the wilderness. Commentary. Throughout the tribulation period, there will be pestilences, diseases, if you like, but God has promised on Psalm 94:14, for the Lord will not cast off his people, neither will he forsake his inheritance. Okay, so you can link this verse with that. This prophecy can also be linked to Jeremiah 30 verse 7, but he, Israel, shall be saved out of it. Okay, so many will perish, but Israel will be saved out of it. And it can also be linked to Isaiah 28:18, and your agreement with hell shall not stand. Okay, when the overflowing scourge shall pass through. Okay, so uh, uh, that scourge can mean, that flood from the devil, and it can also mean pestilence. It can mean those two things. Okay, the flood by the devil in the second half of the tribulation period, where the earth is going to swallow the water, and it can also mean the pestilence. Okay, now verse 8: only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked. Yeah, of course, when Jesus comes back for the millennial kingdom, the Jewish people will witness how God punishes the wicked. Commentary: when Jesus comes back for the millennial kingdom, according to Hosea 6:2, Jesus will rise us up. Okay, and so Jesus will judge all those nations that have come to fight against Jerusalem in the valley of Jehoshaphat. Okay, the Jewish people will witness this, but first fulfilling the prophecy in Joel chapter 2 verse 2: blow you the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble. So, when the Jewish people see Jesus coming, they're going to blow the trumpet in Zion, sound the alarm, and they will witness the judgment in the valley of Jehoshaphat. Okay? And when Jesus makes his judgment in the valley of Jehoshaphat, according to Joel 3:2, this also activates Zechariah 14:12, and also Matthew 25, verses 32 and 33. The nation of Israel will have witnessed, if you like, the final reward of the wicked. Okay? With thine eyes, you will see the reward of the wicked. Okay? So, the nation of Israel will have witnessed the final reward of the wicked. Of course, the Antichrist plus the false prophet, they go straight into the lake of fire, burning with brimstone. Jesus is going to throw them in there alive, and the devil into the bottomless pit for 1,000 years. Okay? Verse 9: because thou hast made the Lord, which is my refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation. That's basically, God is judging, the wicked, because, the Jewish people have made the Lord their refuge, they believe on him. Now, commentary: Revelation 12:17 tells us that the remnant of her seed, okay, uh, you know, will keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Jesus Christ. Okay, so because of my the Lord, which is my refuge, even the Most High habitation, you know, you can look into Revelation 2:17, because there will be a remnant, if you like, of the Jewish people that will keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Jesus Christ. Okay, this plus Israel's son prophet in the second half of the tribulation period, whose mission is to unite the Jewish people unto Jesus Christ, proves that the Jewish people will make the Most High the spiritual habitation. Okay, because God has punished here, verse 8, all the wicked, and that's because the Lord has seen that the Jewish people have made the Lord, the refuge and the habitation, And that's because, a remnant will keep the commandments of God, if you like. Israel will have their own prophet and so on. So this is why, you know, verse 10, there shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling. So in that secret place where God is going to nourish the Jewish people, no evil shall come, upon the Jewish people that are hiding there. So for my commentary, long story short, because the abomination of desolation has happened, the Jewish people will be forced to flee, and many to a secret place in the wilderness where God is going to supernaturally nourish the Jewish people for 3.5 years. Okay, see Revelation 12:14. So this means that the Antichrist will be possessed by the devil, and won't be able in his evil ways to harm in any way the Jewish people that are being protected by God in the wilderness supernaturally. And Jesus did promise in the Synoptic Gospels, Matthew, Mark, and Luke, that there will be pestilence during the tribulation period. Okay, so see Matthew 24:7. Above all, Moses in Deuteronomy 4, verses 29 to 31, says, but especially on 4:31, he will not forsake thee, because here in Deuteronomy 4, in these verses, Moses is talking about the Jewish people in the tribulation period, okay? And on 4:31 it reads, he will not forsake thee, neither destroy thee, nor forget the covenant of thy fathers, which he swore unto them, okay? So, yes, there is a lot to take there, uh, there shall no evil befall thee, okay, neither shall any place come nigh thy dwelling. So just remember that he, like he says in Moses here, he will not forsake thee, okay, neither destroy thee. So the Jewish people will need to remember these prophecies. Verse 11, for he shall give his angels charge over thee, uh, to keep thee in all thy ways, so basically, we know by the Synoptic Gospels that Satan used this verse 11 and 12 to tempt Jesus. Okay, we know that, but the application for verse 11 and 12, even though Satan used it to tempt Jesus, if you like, are actually for the second half of the tribulation period in context. Okay, this is because according to Psalm 2, in the second half of the tribulation period, when the abomination of desolation happens, the 10 kings of the earth set themselves uh, set themselves up and take counsel together against the Lord and his covenant people, in other words, the Jewish people. And so God will need to offer supernaturally protection by using and sending out his angels to protect the Jewish people in the secret place, if you like, but supernatural hiding place as well. Okay, and therefore Psalm 2:4, he that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh, the Lord shall have them in derision, okay, because we know that Satan is going to be coming, together with the 10 kings, he's going to be coming, against the Jewish people, against his covenant people, but he's not going to have any luck because Psalm 2 tells us that God is going to mock them. So, yeah, God is going to mock um, all these evil doers, if you like, okay. So now we are on Psalm 12. They shall bear thee up in their hands, lest thou dash thy foot against against a stone rather. Okay, Satan tempts Jesus. He used that in the time of Jesus, but commentary. This prophecy is linked to Psalm 94:14 in a deeper layer of understanding, if you like, in how God is going to protect the Jewish people supernaturally in that secret place. For the Lord will not cast off his people, neither will he forsake his inheritance. Okay, so God will protect the Jewish people because he knows that Satan has but a short time when he's cast down from heaven together with his fallen angels. See Revelation 12:12. Okay, so God sent angels who protect the Jewish people. So God will send angels to protect the Jewish people supernaturally in the second half of the tribulation period. Okay, that will be the job. Now, verse 13: Thou shalt tread upon the lion and the adder, or the snake, if you like, the young lion and the dragon shall thou trample under feet. So basically, what he's saying is that in the supernatural hiding place, there will be dangerous animals like lions and snakes, but the Jewish people in the hiding place will overcome them, okay? Because they're going to trample on them, okay? So they will overcome them, and also because God is protecting them with his angels too, so they will overcome them. The other verse can be linked to Psalm 98, Psalm 94, verse 18, when I said, my foot sleepeth, okay, that mercy, O Lord, help me up. So in other words, uh, you know, and it reads here, okay, and the young lamb and the dragon shall thou trample under feet, okay, shall thou trample under feet. Uh, when I said my foot sleepeth, thy mercy, O Lord, help me up, okay. So yes, the Jewish people will trample, all these dangerous animals, and the Lord will be there to help the Jewish people, okay. Verse 14, because he has set his love upon me, therefore I will deliver him, I will set him on high, because he has known my name. So there we see repentance of the Jewish people, unto Jesus, if you like. Commentary: in this prophecy here, the Jewish people are repentant and have turned towards God, asking him for the salvation. There are many prophecies that can be linked to this verse, but some include Psalm 73, verses 24 to 26. And in Psalm 75, verse 25, it reads, whom have I in heaven but thee? Okay. There is none upon earth that I desire beside thee. Okay, so basically that's the repentance of the Jewish people. See also Psalm 74:12. For God is my King of all, working salvation in the midst of the earth. See Psalm 74:20. Have respect unto the covenant, for the dark places of the earth are full of the habitation of cruelty. See also Psalm 10, verse 17. Lord, thou hast heard the desire of the humble. Thou wilt prepare the heart, thou wilt cause thine ear to hear. So on this verse here, on 14, we begin to see the repentance of the Jewish people turning towards God. And all these prophecies are actually linked to that verse, okay? And there's actually a lot more than this, but I just wanted to give you the main idea, okay? Now, verse 15. He, Israel, shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him, meaning Israel. Commentary. So this is the call out to Jesus, which is linked to Psalm 118:26. Blessed be he that cometh in the name of the Lord, okay? He shall call upon me, okay? Blessed is he that cometh in the name of the Lord. We have blessed you out of the house of the Lord. See also Luke 19:38, saying, blessed be the King that cometh in the name of the Lord, okay? Peace in heaven and glory in the highest, okay? Now you can actually break down this prophecy in half, if you like. I will deliver him and honor him. Yes, there are many prophecies. You can break it here and put this as a part number 2. There are many prophecies in which God is going to deliver him, when he comes down to make that judgment in the valley of Jehoshaphat and so on, and honor him. There's many prophecies in that, but I didn't want to put them down because I just wanted to let you know that the main theme here on verse 15 is a call out, blessed is he that cometh in the name of the Lord. if you like. But yes, you can break it into two, and you can find prophecies regarding this. Okay, but the main theme here is blessed be he that cometh in the name of the Lord. Okay, and the last verse, 16, if you like, with long life will I satisfy him and show him my salvation. Commentary. All Israel shall be saved upon the arrival of Jesus' second coming, Romans 11:26. And the Jewish people will live a long life according to Psalm 92:14. They shall still bring forth fruit in, let me turn over the page, in old age they shall be fat and flourishing. Okay. All right, folks, thanks for watching. Yeah, Psalm 91 is it's very straightforward. You just have to understand. Let me just get it back here to Psalm 91. You just have to understand that it's all for the second half of the tribulation period. You know, the beginning is this, that the Jewish people go into the secret place where the abomination or desolation happens. Then spiritually, they're going to begin through all of this, calling out on the Lord. The Lord is going to protect them supernaturally and so on. And then at the end, they're gonna call upon him, blessed is he who cometh in the name of the Lord. Okay, so this is what it's all about. Israel in that secret place, being supernaturally being protected by God and his angels, and then at the end, just calling on the Lord. All right. Okay, folks, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you all later.